Life's a dance, you learn as you go. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow. Don't worry about what you don't know. Life's a dance, you learn as you go.
Life's a dance, you learn as you go. Sometimes you lead and sometimes you follow. It's true about life, isn't it? And it's pretty true about the Olympics. Who's been watching the Olympics? Sometimes they lead and sometimes they follow, right? I watched the opening ceremony as the 10,500 athletes from 206 countries entered the arena. And I watched the smiles, I watched the tears, and every emotion in between, as they were experiencing something so much bigger and so much greater than themselves. So I taped the Olympics so I could, play it when I wanted to, skip the commercials, see the good stuff. And what I really liked was hearing about their personal stories on how they got to the Olympics. So for the past 2 weeks, if I wanted to feel a little bit better about the world, I turned off the news and turned on the Olympics. I hope you did the same. Today's talk is Just Do It. Each month this year, we've been talking about one of our spiritual powers. And this month's spiritual power is will. Willpower is behind every Olympian's story. Where there's a will, there's a way. They're a demonstration of that. For each of them, the journey to the Olympics was different. And what was the same was a use of their willpower to achieve their goal and not let anything stop them. Rugby player Jillian Potter recovered from a broken neck and beat cancer and competed in the Olympics in 2016. Judoka Kayla Harrison. She was a 13-year-old judo prodigy who was constantly sexually abused by her coach. It didn't stop her. She performed in the Olympics this year. Irish gymnast Kieran Behan was bound to a wheelchair as a child. The doctor said she would never walk. But with her willpower, she did rigorous physical training. And she not only walked, but she became a gymnast. And then, my favorite, for the first time ever, the refugee team. No homeland, no flag, no national anthem. They each had to overcome extraordinary adversity: kidnapping, persecution, imprisonment, child soldiers. Some were caged and starved. The one that got my attention, and you probably heard of, was 18-year-old Ursa Mardini, who fled Syria with her sister. From Lebanon, they went through Turkey until they boarded a dinghy to Greece. Now, the group of people boarding that dinghy, there were 20 of them. The dinghy was meant to hold 6 people. And so as they got out, and as they were in the middle of the ocean, this dinghy started to leak. It couldn't support all these people. And so Ursa, her sister, and 2 other people jumped into that cold, open water of the Aegean Sea. And they pushed and pulled that dinghy all the way to Greece, to safety. Here's what she said. I had one hand with the rope attached to the boat as I moved my 2 legs and 1 arm. Your body is almost like done. I don't know if I can describe that. And then she said, everything is about trying to get a new and better life. By entering the stadium, we are encouraging others to pursue their dreams. She swam in the women's butterfly. She didn't make the finals, but she did win her heat in the trials. This book, How to Use Your 12 Gifts of God, we've been studying this all year. We have a Tuesday morning class on it. And here's what it says about will. You can become anything you are willing toward. Instead of trying to escape from life's challenges, you can become more willing to grow into the greater good. So what challenge are you trying to escape? What obstacle? What situation? What fear is keeping you from moving forward? Are you willing to grow into your greater good? Are you ready, as Nike says, to just do it? You know, Nike is the winged Greek goddess of victory. And the Nike logo, that swoosh, represents movement. So are you ready to swoosh? No matter the athlete's individual stories, whether they grew up rich or poor, privileged or oppressed, the common thread that connects them is the use of their willpower, their swoosh, to achieve their dreams. And you can too. Do you believe you don't have the support you need from family, friends, co-workers, the world, to do what you want to do? 2 years ago, Olympian, 23-year-old Boris Berian was unsponsored runner, flipping burgers at a McDonald's inside a Walmart in Colorado Springs. He finished 8th in the 800 meters. Do you feel your life is too busy to fit in what you want to do? Abby Johnson is entering her 3rd year of medical school. She's planning a spring wedding, and she finished 12th in the women's diving. Do you think you're too old, that life is over? You can't make a difference. There's nothing you can do. My favorite story. Anna Baffa of South Africa is a 74-year-old great-grandmother. She was once a sprinter and a jumper in her younger years. She started helping her children learn how to run, and that led her to coaching. And she was willing not to let her age dictate what she did. And because of that, because she became a coach, 24-year-old Wade Van Nickern became the first South American sprinter since the 1920 to win an Olympic gold medal, breaking a 17-year-old record. Because a 74-year-old great-grandmother was willing to move forward. When Anna tried to get through the crowds to go congratulate her athlete, the officials wouldn't let her through. They wouldn't believe this old white-haired woman was coach to the athlete who just broke the Olympic record. She says she has no plans to retire. I love coaching. I love my athletes. I see no reason why I should go sit down and play with my fingers. We say twiddle our fingers here, right? Willingness is the switch that activates our willpower. It shouts at us from within, just do it. Are you going to listen? Willingness is always constructive. It leads us to new habits, new behavior, new opportunities. It means we're willing to surrender our old ways of thinking and reacting. Willfulness, that's when we do this with someone, right? Or against something, is always destructive. It keeps us stuck. It keeps us stuck in our old beliefs that prevent us from moving forward. Those beliefs that say, I'm too busy, I'm too old, I don't have enough money to do it. Willfulness says, who am I to go to the Olympics? I flip burgers at McDonald's. Willfulness says, how can I possibly start an exercise program? I work full-time, and when I get home, I have a family to take care of. Willfulness says, I'm too old to go back to school, learn an instrument, start a new career. At age 61, Mary Hannah of Australia was the oldest person competing in the Olympics this year. She set her personal best in the equestrian dressage, which is the horse movements, where they dance to the music. At 43, Kristen Armstrong of the U.S., who has a 5-year-old son, is the oldest female cyclist to ever win a gold medal. And at 41, gymnast Okasana of the Soviet Union finished 7th in the women's vault. And if you saw this was a great one to see. The gymnasts that performed before her and after her were 16 years old. She has a 17-year-old son. She competed in 1992. She's been in every Olympics since 1992. She won her first gold in 1992. And she plans in 2020 to be in Tokyo at the Olympics. Our willingness moves us through all those old beliefs. Our will is the great permission giver of our consciousness. And it moves us into action, all those other spiritual gifts we've been talking about. Because no matter how much I understand love, I must give it permission over anger, right? No matter how much I understand strength, I must give it permission over discouragement and disappointment. I must give permission to good judgment over irrational impulses, to faith over false appearances. Becoming an Olympian requires more than great athletic abilities. It requires the willingness to bounce back from failure, to persevere when I make a mistake. And so how many of you saw that gymnast going for the goal who fell off the balance beam and got back on and finished? Or the women's relay qualifying heat, where the U.S., who had taken gold last year, one of their runners was bumped by a runner from another team, and it knocked the baton out of her hand. Now that would mean you're disqualified if you don't finish the race. And she had the presence to pick that baton up and continue, so they finished the race, meaning that they could file a protest. And they did, and their protest was accepted. So they had them run again all by themselves. And the time they made was better than any of the other teams, and they went on to win the gold in the women's relay. The willingness, when that baton dropped, not to give up, but to pick it up and finish. Can you put that into your life and what's going on in your life? Is there a baton you can pick up again? Setting goals and improving ourselves, improving our lives, whether it's losing weight, getting out of debt, leaving an unhealthy relationship, it takes willingness to tap into that inner willpower. We have the same willpower within us, and hear this, that propels these athletes to move forward. Not any more, not any less. It's as great in us as it is in them. So if I fall off my diet today and eat something I shouldn't, don't throw the whole diet out. Start again tomorrow. If I'm too tired to exercise today, don't quit. Start again tomorrow. If I have a bad day and everything goes wrong, don't quit. Start again tomorrow. Take things one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 step at a time, 1 moment at a time. If you fall off that beam, if you drop the baton, be willing to bounce back. After all, You haven't done it in front of 2 billion people. Winning and succeeding is great. But it's hard work. It's the hard work. It's the journey to get there that opens our soul, that allows us to experience something much greater. Dan has some pictures you're going to put up, and I loved the pictures of the Olympians as they received gold and their emotions. And they said that they would experience a flood of emotions. They just didn't know what they were experiencing. There were so many that there were no words to explain what they felt. Michael Phelps, who knows who Michael Phelps is? All right. More Olympic medals than anyone in history. But did you know this? Did you know this? That 2 years ago, he was drinking heavily, and he was wondering if life was worth living. And after multiple DUIs, he entered treatment. And while he was there, a good friend of his gave him the book, I meant to bring it and I didn't, called The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, which was a required book for us in ministerial school. He said that book renewed his sense of faith and courage. And he would start each day with it, and he got the nickname in rehab, Preacher Mike. And when you see him up there in all his glory, you wouldn't think this of him. But he had the willpower to move from a low, dark point in his life to the historic Olympian he is today. So when that U.S. team was up on the podium receiving the gold, Ryan Held, you've got the pictures, Dan? Okay. Who was the first time in the Olympics, broke out in tears. And if you watch that, he was having such a hard time. He just couldn't control it. And so Caleb Dressel, who's another first-timer, told himself that he wasn't going to cry. He was just too tired to cry. And as soon as he heard the national anthem, the tears started rolling down his face. So here's seasoned Michael up there whispering to them, enjoy the moment. It's okay to sing. It's okay to cry. And then when he heard that national anthem, you could see the tear start to run down his cheek. Gold medals don't just happen, folks. We have to be willing to move forward toward them. So this week, if you have a bad day, if you get frazzled and stressed and things just aren't going as you planned and you feel like you're not good enough, not rich enough, not young enough, like those Olympians, I want you to tap into that willpower inside of you. I want you to get back up on the beam, pick up the baton, move forward, go for the goal, just do it.